Are you interested in the most recent news on the NIO stock? What are the most recent developments in the world of stocks? Do you have any knowledge, whether it be favorable or bad, concerning the future investment you will make in the stocks that you are interested in buying? If you have interest in stocks, and more especially in NIO stock, you have arrived at the correct location. Welcome back to Stock Market News, you all. In the video that we are going to share with you today, we are going to talk about everything that is occurring with NIO. So let's get right into it. But before that, please hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel to get every single update about the channel. Shares of the Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer NIO finished off a difficult week of trading by falling over 12% over the course of the last 5 trading days. On Friday, shares of NIO decreased by an additional 1.66%, and the company's session finished at a price of $21.36. The second half of 2022 got off to a strong start for the stock market, as all 3 main averages continued to show gains right up to the closing bell. The financial markets were shut down on Monday, but investors provided a little boost heading into the holiday weekend on July 4th. During the course of the trading day, the Dow Jones Index increased by 321 basis points, while the S&P 500 and NASDAQ each saw gains of 1.06% and 0.9% respectively. On Friday, NIO and its domestic competitors disclosed the number of vehicles they had delivered to customers in June. Following the COVID-induced lockdowns earlier this year, the Chinese electric vehicle sector may be able to get back on track, as shown by the fact that NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto all posted statistics that were higher than anticipated. NIO increased the number of cars it provided by 12,961, which is a growth of 60% year-over-year and a growth of 14% for the second quarter. XPeng delivered 15,295 automobiles, which is an increase of 133% from the previous year, while Li Auto delivered 13,024 automobiles, which is sufficient for an increase of 69% from 2021. After the reports were released on Friday, all 3 equities traded down at the market close. What caused shares of NIO to plummet after showing increases in the early part of the season? It's possible that an investor exodus was caused by Nomura's downward revision of the price. The investment company lowered its price goal for the ES7 SUV model from $51.50 to $28, noting possible worries about the market for such a vehicle. In addition, Nomura reduced its price objective for XPeng from $64.60 to $36.30 and changed its recommendation from buy to neutral on the stock. Nomura is recommending that investors focus their attention on Li Auto and BYD rather than NIO and XPeng. Well, NIO, the well-known manufacturer of electric vehicles, had its share price increase by around 8% on July 7 after China announced that it will further provide support to its EV industry. According to a story that was distributed by Barron, China may also decide to prolong subsidies for new energy cars beyond this year. These subsidies were originally scheduled to expire this year. The Chinese government will also prioritize the construction of charging infrastructure across the whole country and will take steps to reduce the expenses associated with charging. This new breakthrough is a relief for electric vehicle manufacturers like NIO, who are experiencing difficulties in their supply chain. NIO published its amazing delivery stats for June not too long ago. It reached 12,961 automobiles, which is an increase of 60.3% over the previous year's total. Additionally, the number of cars that were delivered during the second quarter of 2022 increased by 14.4% year-over-year to 25,059. According to TipRanks, Wall Street is bullish on NIO stock, and the consensus recommendation among investors is a strong buy. This rating is based on 10 buys. The consensus price projection for NIO is $33.66, which indicates a possible gain of 49.6% in comparison to the present price. The price of the stock is down by 32.8% since the beginning of the year. According to TipRanks, 81% of financial bloggers are bullish on NIO, which is much higher than the average industry sentiment of 64%. In addition, the sentiment of hedge funds about the stock is very positive. According to TipRanks, hedge funds have made purchases of 3.5 million shares of NIO during the most recent quarter. It is anticipated that the decision China made to assist its electric car sector will increase the demand for electric vehicles in the country. In addition, it appears that NIO is in a good position to capitalize on this surge in customer demand. The majority of investors do not begin their investment process with significant gainers like TSLA or NVDA on their radar. Because there are so many different perspectives shared on social media and financial websites, it is tough to tell the difference between genuine development potential and empty hype. Over the last 10 years, we have been developing and perfecting technology that is intended to assist individual investors just like you in locating the opportunities that have the highest potential for upside in any given economic environment. On Thursday, a positive day for the overall markets, particularly for the electric car industry, led to an increase in NIO's share price. The price of a share of NIO finished the trading day at $22.50, up 8.02% from its opening price. The stock market was able to continue its gains this week following the holiday weekend of July 4th, as all three main indexes moved higher in anticipation of significant employment data that is scheduled to be announced on Friday morning. The S&P 500 index had gain of 1.5%, making it the first time since 2022 that it has won 4 consecutive trading sessions in a row. During the trading day, Dow Jones gained 346 basis points, while the Nasdaq led the way with a gain of 2.28%. The Chinese government has reaffirmed its commitment to the local auto market in response to recent developments in Beijing, which sent electric vehicle stock prices soaring. NIO and its competitors received a boost as a result of the Chinese government's plans to increase incentives for consumers who purchase locally manufactured new energy cars. Investors were also relieved to learn that despite the persistent concerns around COVID-19, there has been no announcement made regarding the possibility of a lockdown in the Anhui province, which is home to the majority of NIO's production plants. Following the release of the news on Thursday, shares of XPeng, Li Auto, and Tesla were all trading at much higher prices. NIO has made several announcements this week, including the fact that it has completed work on its 1 millionth battery swap station. In addition, the business has stated that it has finished construction on its 1,000th battery swap station. The investors who were shaken by a brief study from Grizzly Research that especially targeted NIO's battery swap services are relieved to hear the news, which comes as a pleasant development. Since the information was made public, investor sentiment toward NIO shares has remained predominantly favorable. June proved to be a considerably better month than projected, with deliveries increasing by 60% year-on-year. In recent weeks, some analysts have been optimistic about NIO. According to Deutsche Bank analyst Edison Yu, NIO is entering its most critical product cycle ever, and the ET7 and ET5 sedans will become the most wanted luxury electric vehicles in China. The hike in car pricing should help NIO's bottom line for the rest of the year. NIO forecasts revenue to climb 10.6% to 19.4% year-on-year in the second quarter, supported by deliveries of 23,000 to 25,000 units. So while short seller Grizzly Research believes NIO is exaggerating its sales figures, investors are no longer listening to pessimists. NIO's delivery growth was extremely strong in June, and with the Chinese government recently announcing intentions to assist the EV industry by extending subsidies and constructing a comprehensive charging infrastructure, NIO's development prospects have begun to appear even brighter. Disclaimer: this video is just a source of information and does not promote any kind of promotion to any stock. For the purchasing of the stock, kindly research the following stock. The current video has reached its end. Please make sure that you press the like button as well as the subscribe button so that we may continue to generate further material that contains information and updates on NIO Stock. Thank you in advance for your assistance with this matter. We sincerely appreciate you taking the time to view the video. We'll stay ahead of you for the time being and catch up with you in a little while.